Lieutenant Colonel Yolanda Maddox, and I'm going to talk to you guys about a couple of things. I want to play a couple of games with you. But first of all, the stereotypes about women, and I have heard them all because they are hilarious. So some of the stereotypes that you will hear about women, especially women in the military, has been that women are weak, that women cannot be leaders, that if you are a woman in the military, then you're hard, you know, that you are single, that you don't have a family, you know, and you know, it's just a lot of negative thoughts about women in the military. I can remember even a time when who knows the comedian, we were at a comedy show, and so a comedian did not realize that he had a room full of women in the military. And so he made a comment, and basically he said that women in the military were ugly. And so of course after that, myself and the rest of the ladies in the military walked up to him and introduced ourselves with our rank and our service, to let him know that no, women of the military come in all different flavors, all different, you know, just the way we look, everything, you know. So no, women in the military are beautiful, we are strong. Women in the military are leaders. Women in the military are soldiers. But women in the military, we are also mothers and we are wives. That is my husband sitting over there. Okay? So I just say that to say to there, you know, some of the myths about women in the military. Now what I do want to do is, you know, just ask you guys a couple of questions by show of hands. How many people in here have heard of Amelia Earhart? Great. All right. How about First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt? Awesome. Oprah Winfrey. Definitely Oprah Winfrey. All right. So we talked about those trailblazers. So how about we talk about a couple of women who are trailblazers in the military? Has anyone ever heard of Command Sergeant Major Yazette Nelson? What about, she was the first Command Sergeant Major of the Army back in 1968. Brigadier General Anna Mae Hayes. Anybody ever heard of her? All right. She was the first Brigadier General of the Army, in the Army as a female. General Ann Dunwoody. First Army 4-star general. Okay? The first Army 4-star general. And then here's another one for you. General Lori Robinson.
First DCG 4-star.
All right. General Lori Robinson, her and General Ann Dunwoody. General Ann Dunwoody was the first 4-star general in the Army. General Lori Robinson is in the Air Force. She is the first woman to lead a unified combatant command. Okay? If you want to talk about breaking barriers and breaking those glass ceilings, she's doing it. We're doing it. One by one, but we're doing it. Okay? And she's also the highest ranking female officer in history. In history. She's still serving. You can look at her today. It's not nothing from back in the day, you know, this is actually current history. So with that being said, all the women I talk about, they're all trailblazers in our United States military, yet no one really knew a couple of the ones that I talked about. There are women who broke ground and paved the way for the rest of us to follow, so that I could also be standing here to talk to you guys today. These women, no, they're not as popular as Taylor Swift or Beyonce. However, they are all women who have led the charge and continuing to lead the charge today and breaking down those barriers one by one. Women have served in the armed service since the Revolution War. We've actually served before the Revolution War. We've served as spies, seamstress, cooks, and everything else. But what we also did was we served as combat soldiers. And the first one, does anyone know the name William Cathay? Okay. That was her AKA name as a male, because she faked that she was a male in order to serve. Her real name is Kathy Williams. She's the first female Buffalo soldier. Approximately 350,000 women served during World War I. Now the thing with World War I was, once these women came back from World War I, their service was only temporary. They had to get out of the military with no benefits. All right? So then in 1984, President Harry Truman signed the Women's Armed Service Integration Act into law, officially allowing women to serve in all four of the services with some exceptions. Okay, so over the course of nearly 7 decades, with changes to different policies, laws, and different practices, finally in 2013, and with the repeal of the combat exclusion policy, opened up military billets to women in all of the 4 services. Today, over 200,000 women are serving in the armed forces, and they're serving in the capacity of the 75th, one of them right now, a Ranger, and the 75th Ranger Regiment. We are to the first Surgeon General in the Army, to serving in the highest ranking woman in the history, and she's leading soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines in a unified combatant command. The women I mentioned today are just a few of the trailblazers in our history. However, there are a couple more that I want to bring up. Has anyone ever heard of Dr. Mae Edwards Walker? She was the first woman to receive a Medal of Honor. All right, here's one of recent. Captain Christine Grice. She is the first female Ranger graduate and infantry officer. Lieutenant General Naja West. Anybody ever heard of her? All right, she is the first 3-star African-American Surgeon General. And then we have a new trailblazer that's coming behind us, and her name is Cadet Simone Askew. She's the first African-American first captain at the United States Military Academy at West Point. And if anybody watched that Army-Navy game, you saw her lead them out. And I was excited. So these women have set the path and laid the foundation for others to follow. So with that, I will just ask you to remember a couple of things. Number 1, continue to recognize the accomplishments not only of celebrities and of military women, but of all women in our country. Also, create an atmosphere of exception. Take care of our great nation, and always remember that trailblazers have paved the way for you. Thank you.